afternoon, Kevin. How are you?
I'm good, Peter. How's things with you?
Yes, very good. Thank you. Very good. Welcome to the NI Business Podcast, Kevin. Thanks for taking the time to chat with me today. Could you tell me a little about yourself, your background, and your business, please?
Yes, in reverse order, our business is a training and learning solution for large global financial institutions, like the Citibank, Morgan Stanley, HSBC, and we deliver digital skill training to empower their technologists uh, workforce across the globe. I've been in IIT technology from since I graduated in 95, which is 30 years now. And I've had a number of different roles, and I took on leading the company about 18 months ago.
And how's the last year and a half been for you?
I've still got my hair, but it's not the black shade it once was, or that I keep thinking it is. But yeah, it's been really good challenge. Like it really helped by two things that I joined or rejoined David in the world of Neueda in April 21. So I had three solid years to understand the business, get to know the business. It was pretty associate model led, so we had only 3 or 4 employees. That the benefit of that over the last 3 4 years is that we've hired up now close to 50 people. So I've been heavily involved in hiring them. So I feel like we've grown together. So that part is good. So yeah, it's a challenge, but um, the hardest challenge is just trying to get the right people and keep them steering the way. And for me, I've always been good at knowing my limitation, so I know when to step out of a situation and let people handle it.
Help me understand a little more about your target market. Who do you enjoy working with the most, and who
Mm,
benefits most from working with you?
Yeah, so the large scale at the financial institutions, insurance, and any large global and even global tech companies, we've got Ericsson and Dell as clients. The real sweet spot for us is really forging deep, lasting partnerships. Like some of those clients, especially City, like we've been doing global academies from them for 15 years now. You know, Ericsson was like probably one of David's first clients back in 2004. So the benefit the clients get, or we carry our biggest bang, is large in that large scale organization where they have a heavy technology stack and a heavy technology population, because we our learning solutions help those clients be more productive in the technology sphere, if that makes sense.
What would you say has been your biggest learning in the last 18 months since taking over the helm?
Um, you can't take enough time over hiring. You can't, like, it's and I heard that whispering and I knew it, and it was the back of my head around when I was leading customer success teams in Kanos. But being at the center of everything is like uh, it is a balance, especially as we're scaling and growing. The
Mm.
higher the temptation to bring somebody in who's available and right. They might have the right skills, but in a scaling company, you're looking for a particular type of person, and it's not fair on that person. So that's some things that I've really had to discipline myself in terms of, right, okay, are we being absolutely clear in the role that we're asking people to do?
Mm.
Back 4 years ago, when it was me and David, we just picked the best looking person and went, "Are you free? Come on!" And sometimes that worked, but we've had to mature our approach there.
And what have you learned about yourself along your business journey?
I don't need much sleep, which is a good thing. I guess I've learned to sort of trust myself a bit more. It was something I've always kind of struggled with, a bit of confidence, self-confidence, and
Mm.
yeah, and sort of, yeah, learn. That's probably the biggest learning, just to trust myself a bit more. And I've always been open, and I think it's a good thing to, I learned a few things through my career, loads of things, but and again, it's probably related to the hiring. You don't want to hire many people like yourself. You hire other people that have got different skills, and and that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's such a great share, you know, for anyone listening. It's a classic elephant trap, if you like, is people that just look to recruit in their own image. Yeah,
Yeah,
which is a default, but not a great ongoing strategy. Yeah, great
no.
share. What about who would you say has influenced you the most along the way?
Along the way, I suppose what I have worked with and for three founders, David Brendan and Malachi Smith from Kionos. Those guys have always shaped me a little bit, there, and definitely some of the customers and clients that I would have worked on client side back in some of the transformation projects. So I'm a mix of people. And I've always been willing to learn. So I suppose that if it was to summarize it, it would be maybe David and Mal would be the most influential.
And what fuels your passion and gets you out of bed in the morning today?
I guess I'm really determined. I've never been the smartest guy or claimed to be the smartest guy in the room, but I want to succeed because I somewhere inside me is like I'm not expected to succeed, so it drives me on, if that makes sense. But I know we've got a shape of things here. It's really wanting to see it through as much for me and for the people that have helped build where we are.
And I don't know if you're a reader or listen to podcasts or anything at all, but if you were on a desert island and you could have a book or a podcast to listen to or
Mhm.
both, what would you choose?
I wouldn't take a podcast. I heard somebody saying something funny where I was saying, do you know where the best place is to bury a secret? It's the second half of a podcast. So
Very
I
good,
don't
like
really.
that.
For me, it would be books all day long. So I'd be very happy to take the some Len Dayton or John le Carre. It's all very boring and Cold War. But I've got all the books. But the I'd say probably plumb for the George Smiley series, and I'd be grabbing them first.
And I know you mentioned people and hiring earlier on. So other than that, you know, what challenges or what would be the biggest challenge that you're facing in your business at the minute?
I guess it's this scalability, where we've taken under, working closely with David and the model that we've taken that to a level. It's now, how do we scale that? So it is linked to the people and the hiring to make sure you've got that. But it's the challenge is really trying to get the right conversations and the right solutions. Everything's changing now, so that's in terms of AIs there you're feeling about talking about. For us, we've always adopted that approach that the customer has the answer. So that and how do we scale that approach is a challenge for us, but we're trending in the right way. I'm comfortable where we are, but you never truly satisfied that you're working there, and we get some tremendous feedback from our clients. And there's nothing better for me is when one of those clients speak to a prospective client, because then they can sort of just go, oh yeah, we did all that in any of these. So yeah, it's scaling, I think, Peter.
And what I go a bit off piste a little bit. So if you could invite any three people to a dinner party, anyone at all, who would you invite?
uh Tiger Woods,
Okay,
Bill Clinton, and Kate 80.
Kate 80.
Yeah.
Very good.
You
Go on,
you didn't
explain.
say you didn't say they had to get on, so I just thought that would be three. But yeah, I said a different thing. Like I always when growing up, and just recently I was at TEDx in Stormont there, and I heard Fergal Keane spoke, and he spoke really well, and that reminded me just about the journalistic, the no fear that Katie had, and just I would love to just sit down and like ask her some of the same questions that you're asking me. So yeah.
Very good. What about if you could go back in time and give some advice out to your 18-year-old self? Kevin, what would that sound? And would you listen and what would it sound like?
I'll probably listen and go, why is he telling me that? what's he mean? But I guess I would be back to that confidence. So like, don't be afraid to go for things and reach out. I think I was late maturing in terms of a lot of things, and certainly my appetite to take on risks with my career came later in my career.
Mhm.
So I'd probably just say that, like, don't be afraid to take a leap sooner. And kind of one of the old clients I used to work for was like, you need to back yourself. If you don't back yourself, nobody else is going to back yourself. So I'd kind of go with that early on. Like, so.
Very good. And instead of looking back, let's look forward. So what does the business look like in 5 years' time?
Well, um, I'd like to say that we've expanded into maybe, at least one other sector, that we're taking our methodology and learning approach out there, that we're best in known and best in class in terms of that digital innovative solutions, and that we've got that trusted partner relationship across the global companies. And at the minute, we'd like to double that clients, up into the 2030, and be doing it on a larger scale, and being somewhere where we can then have some luxuries about taking on some homegrown talent from universities here, having some apprenticeship schemes. We know what we need to do here because we've been doing it for these organizations. It would be great to have a Neueda Academy taking, going into schools and taking giving young people opportunities to experience work for us.
Yeah, that the apprenticeship, that's a word that pops up a lot nowadays, and certainly you're not the first person to have mentioned that avenue in these interviews as well. So that sounds really exciting. If someone likes what they've heard and would like to reach out and get in touch with you or the business, what would be the best way for them to go about that?
There's an about Neueda from the website, but anybody I'd be delighted if anybody would just pop me an email, and it's I'm on email every day as everybody is, so there's no problem with yeah, happy for you to share my contact details. So yeah, probably myself or on the website.
Superb. Well, Kevin Corrigan from Neueda, thanks very much for taking the time to chat with me today. I wish you all the best with getting your handicap down if you're still working on that.
Yeah,
I share your pain on that one, and I wish you and the business every success for the future. So thanks very much,
right.
Kevin.
Okay. Cheers, Peter. Been a pleasure. Good to see you. Bye.
Okay.